Hi, this is Randy Kirk, and today we're going to talk about my suggested questions for reporters and retail investors to ask at the upcoming Tesla earnings call. So if this is interesting to you, if this is content that you like, please like and subscribe and do all those kind of things. And maybe you'll want to think about joining us on Patreon every single day. Practically, we're getting new Patreon members. We're going to have a lot of fun on that channel talking about the future, about how the future is going to how it's going to unwrap, what things we can look forward to 7, 6, 5 years from now in terms of a future that is produced by Elon Musk and Tesla and all the other companies. Anyway, let's get on to the subject matter at hand. A week from today, I'm shooting this on Wednesday. You may not see it on Wednesday, but we are going to have the earnings call, and the earnings call has an opportunity for both financial reporters that are invited to come and stand in line and wait and give their questions. And we also have, generally speaking, I guess it's going to happen this time, retail investors have an opportunity who own stock in Tesla to vote on some questions that might be asked at the earnings call as well. So now some of the questions that I have might be answered even before that question and answer period, but I kind of doubt it. These are the kind of questions that usually take place at that time. So I just have half a dozen or so here, and I've really thought carefully about what it is that I would like to know that would most impact my thinking about the stock in the near and long-term future. So number one, what is the current production, the expected 2023 production, the total capacity, and the expansion plans for Lathrop? You'll notice that's number one on my list. And the reason it's number one on my list is because it has a huge impact on potential profits. It is also something that we currently seem to know the least about. So there's a lot of speculation, a lot of good reporting about the fact that maybe we're already up to building 25 megapacks a day up there at Lathrop. Which would be very near capacity of 40 gigawatt hours a year. That would be $500 million worth of production per day. That'd be great, but we don't know that to be true. Maybe it's half that. Love to know what the current situation is, like a re-enunciation of what the total possible is from Lathrop. Is it really 40 gigawatts, or is there more capacity depending on shifts, depending on speeding up production lines? Maybe they can add on to Lathrop. Maybe they build another building in Lathrop. Is there something going to happen in Lathrop that would cause that specific facility to have more capacity? And then what are the other plans? Would they be expanding and building even the same size or larger factories for megapacks around the world, in the United States, in North America? What are the plans? Just some kind of rough idea, maybe some kind of a ramp. We know that you've seen on other videos, if you follow me, if you don't, go check them out, that I think that they're shooting for at least 1 terawatt worth of energy storage by 2030. That's based on what Elon has said in the past. You'd have to build a lot of Lathrop-sized facilities, something on the order of 25 or the equivalent between now and then in order to get to those numbers. So what does that ramp look like? All right, number two, what is the current production, the expected 2023 production, the capacity, and the expansion plans for the semi-truck? So once again, this is a case where it has massive impact. We don't know anything about what the expectations are long-term for building semi-trucks. My co-author in the book, The Elon Musk Mission, Brian Wong, has done some analysis. He thinks that they'll shoot for more than 1 million per year, maybe a couple of million per year at some point. I'm settled in on 1 million. Some people think that I'm way too optimistic at 1 million a year, but the worldwide requirement is probably on the order of 3 million. And if these start replacing trains, which they might, because they might be way less expensive to run than rail, you could need a lot more than that. Plus, the savings is so great on semi-trucks that some companies are going to start replacing their diesel before their useful life. So there could be more units per year required than the current replacement of, say, 3 million a year worldwide. There's also slightly smaller trucks. That's another market which they could also be in. But I'm going to just take the million trucks per year number as my hope, but I have no idea. That's why I'd like some reporting. We also don't know if Tesla has started building a line to produce these, or if they're kind of still building them by hand. Are they going to be built in Reno? Are they going to be built in Austin? And are there opportunities to build in China, to build in Japan, to build in Europe? Where are some of the other places that Tesla might be going to build additional factories? And what does that look like? Is that a year from now, 2 years from now, that they would be expanding into other factories? So 50,000, we know that's the number that Elon's already given us, 50,000 in 2024, 50,000 times even $200,000 a truck is 1 billion in sales. So it's not insignificant. So what are the real numbers? Give us some more information about semi-trucks. All right. What is the price and load capacity of the semi-truck? They've given us pretty much all the other specs. A lot of people I know care about how many, what the total number of megawatt hours or kilowatt hours of battery that's going to go into that truck is. I don't really care that much. Everybody that I've seen is guessing between 800 and 1,000. I don't know. I don't care that much, but a lot of people do. So that's probably a question that will get asked. I'm more interested in what are they going to charge for these trucks, which right now is an unknown. Do they know? What, is there some kind of help that they can give us on that? And what is the actual capacity? Can they fully load these trucks? And if they're fully loaded, is it realistic to think they can go 500 miles? Or they can fully load them, but it's realistic to think only 400 miles, which would be fine. But at least we know kind of where they're going to fit into the overall spectrum of how trucks are sold and used. By the way, most trucks are never fully loaded. And even those that are fully loaded sometimes travel a lot of the time not fully loaded. So if you have to stop at a truck stop and get charged up, sometimes more frequently because you happen to have a full load, that's another story. Okay. The next question would be the price. I'm sorry, I just did that one. Is there a holdup on the Shanghai expansion? So that's been reported recently. It's been rumored. It's important. Everybody's kind of thinking that they can ramp up to 1.72 million fairly soon in Shanghai. Many people thought that those buildings are already being built, but now we're hearing that the government has put a kibosh on that and nothing's happening and everything's being held up. Well, what's the reality? Are we expanding in Shanghai? Are we not? What other kind of cars are going to be made there? Is it all still going to be Model 3, Model Y? Are they going to make Model S, Model X there? Or are they going to make new platform, the new Gen 3s? Maybe we'll have to wait till March 1 to know more about the Gen 3s, where they're going to be made, et cetera. But we should know that on March 1. I just want to know, has Shanghai expansion been halted? And maybe some update on expectations of getting that resolved if it's in fact true. Next would be estimated auto margins for 2023. So we know that Tesla has been averaging around 27%. We know that they can maybe get up to 30. Some people are thinking that it'll eventually be more than 30, even without taking into consideration revenue from full self-driving and other kinds of SaaS, SaaS. So with just the hardware, 27, 30%. With these price cuts, we don't know what's happening on cost of goods. So we do know that there'll be a shift to more Model Ys, which should broaden the margins. We do know that the numbers of Model Ys going up as a percentage should therefore impact higher margins, but at lower cost because it's brand new factories. So and we know that the cost of raw materials is going down. So there's a lot of moving parts here. And I've heard estimates all the way from margins of 11% to margins of 25%. Maybe they're still at 27 for all we know. It would be great for somebody to just say, you know what, based on everything we know today, we think margins next year will be around, nothing to hold you to, maybe give a low number so they can exceed it, but what is a ballpark? So we have something to work with. The next would be the IRA applications, their expectations. What are they going to get? What aren't they going to get? Are they going to get the IRA money from the Panasonic production? Looks like it in the contract. People have been able to show copies of the contract with Panasonic. It looks like they're going to get the Tesla will get the $35 times 40,000 gigawatts or whatever. That's a lot of money. Like on the order of $1.5 billion. So what's the real facts there? We can pretty well assume that they'll be putting those into packs. So they're going to get the $10 times 40. So we're looking at 400 million there. But what about the 35? We have to assume 100% that the ones that are being made in Austin and in Fremont area, that those somewhere maybe next year between 30 and let's say 60 gigawatts will be 100%. $35 will be for us, for Tesla, and $10 for putting in the pack will be for Tesla. What about some of the other aspects of the IRA affecting semi-trucks, affecting energy storage? Now, one thing that nobody's talking about is they're not going to make enough batteries in the United States next year or in countries that are approved trading partners to be able to have every single host, every single car, every single truck, every single semi-truck, every single energy storage unit take advantage of the IRA. So how soon are they estimating? Are they expecting that maybe in 2024 or 2025 that almost everything that they make will have a battery in it that they get to take advantage one way or the other of the IRA? That would be also useful to know. So IRA applications, expectations, love to know that information. Final question for me. How many hand-built Optimus robots will be deployed in 2023? This is my hobby horse. I'm the only one talking about this, not one other soul. So it's another newsbreaker from us, from Randy Kirk, from the Elon Musk mission. I believe that they're going to make between 300 and 1,000 Optimus robots this year by hand and deploy them in their factories so that they can start collecting data and finding out use cases and seeing what works and what doesn't work. That's my theory. I also believe that they will have a pilot line by the end of the year, actually manufacturing at some minor scale. Is that true? Is that possible? Let's ask the question. Would somebody please ask that question for me? Or if we don't get the question answered at that particular day at earnings call, maybe on Investors Day, they'll talk about the Optimus robot and some of their plans for manufacturing more than a few in order to get the data they need in order to make this thing happen. I have a video plan. I have two individuals who I want to interview on the subject who are experts. And so far, we just haven't been able to get the three of us together on the same time. But I believe that is the case. I think I can make the case. It'll be interesting to see what they have to say. But that's it for this video. If you liked it, if this kind of content is helpful, please like and subscribe. Please join Patreon. And hey, it's been great talking to you.